What's up, guys? My name's Tanner Hendon, and welcome to Madison Records.
Thank you for having me. This place is awesome. What's going on? What do we have?
Well, it's just a little lobby office area. New mural installation we got put in recently by a really cool Atlanta artist named Tommy Bronx. He designed the logo for us and then did this install. Just some records and stuff we've worked on here, stuff that some of the staff has worked on. So yeah, we've got, there's 5 studios in the building, and 4 of them are rented out by various producers on long-term leases. And everybody kind of does a different thing, which I love. Up in the front studio, Kenneth, he's doing a lot of documentary mixing, music for TV, sound design, that sort of stuff. Mac does a lot of dance music. Trey is doing a lot of like R&B kind of stuff. Jeremy's doing a lot of R&B and pop stuff in his room. And then in this room, it's kind of all of the above. I mean, that said, everybody's genre blending and whatever all the time. You can stand in the hallway and hear 5 different genres going on at the same time, which I just love. And then the band rehearsal space. If there's a rehearsal in there, you can't hear anything, but yeah.
I love the multi-room studios where some of them are locked out and you have that community kind of built into the space.
And we're constantly working together on stuff too. Well, I bought the studio in about 2011. I was in a band and we were really just looking for a rehearsal space, and we found a house not far from here that had a big concrete structure built onto the back of it. And we went and looked at it and we were like, oh, this is pretty cool. We could rehearse here. This could be a control room eventually, whatever. We called the city of Chamblee, where we are, and said, eventually, if we wanted to, could we zone this as a commercial recording studio? And they said, sure, but you know there's a recording studio for sale in Chamblee. We're like, no, we didn't know that. And it was this place. And unfortunately, it was foreclosed on. Some bank in California owned it. They didn't want anything to do with a studio in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was, for the most part, built out. So for a number of years, I just had my little home rig in this room. There was a couch right here, and that was literally it. And we kind of didn't know what we were gonna do. And then eventually we said, you know, let's go for it. I would say maybe 2015, 16 kind of time frame. I would say that's kind of when it started to become, you know, more of a studio, less of a man cave kind of thing going on. And we had, Jeremy's room was initially rented by Dean Rowland from Collective Soul. You know, we've had a little bit of turnover over the years, but a lot of the guys here have been here for a while at this point. The studios kind of go backwards. This is Studio E, or we kind of call it Studio K because the guy that has this room is named Kenneth, so he likes to call it Studio K. This really is not designed as a studio. It was an office, but we quickly realized we need more studios, not office space. So, you know, we just treated it a little bit. He does a lot of music for TVs and commercials and mixing documentaries, stuff like that. We've worked on some stuff for Aflac and Home Depot together.
Oh, nice. So some post-production work,
yeah,
some
exactly.
sync or licensing or something like that?
I think he did some sound design for The Weeknd and Katy Perry actually too. And yeah, he's got some cool toys.
Kenneth?
Yep, Kenneth Level. Blue Green Submarine. That's what his moniker.
Heck yeah.
And he did all this painting and design. His brother is actually I don't know what you would call him, like a carpenter, artist, designer. So like all this, you know, this wall right here, there's actually a window right here, and they just decided to cover it. But they made that, and his brother's always coming in here with cool stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely making the most out of this space.
Right. This is kind of a cool little piece. It's a road case that belonged to Dickie Betts from the Allman Brothers. Chuck Leavell, who's the keyboard player in the Rolling Stones, and he also played with the Allman Brothers back in the day. He used to have a studio at his house in Macon, and one day he called me and said, man, I've just got all this stuff that is in storage. It's just rotting away. Do you want any of it? I was like, yeah. So I went down there and got a bunch of stuff. This happened to be one of them. We're just using it as a table, but there's some cool keyboards and stuff that I'll show you that we got from them as well. Another little production suite, Studio D. This was built out when I got it. So this is pretty much as is, minus the gear. There was no gear in here. And a guy named Mac Woodward rents this room out. He does a lot of dance music. Honestly, this is probably the best vocal booth in the whole building, in my opinion. Just sounds really great. And we've even tracked drums in here before.
Oh yeah.
It's tight, but you can, little kick snare hat thing you can do.
Perfect for dance.
Yeah. It's just a very intimate room. It's so easy with the booth being right here. You know, you can really work well with the artist. Some of his accolades.
I like that desk too.
Yeah, he recently got that. I don't know what it is.
I love the split bay design.
Yeah, for sure. Big old speakers for this room.
I know.
As you commented on.
Yeah, some big 10-inch Genelecs right in the corners to get that get that bump.
Exactly. 2 studios down. You know, gotta have the kitchen. It's where all the hanging happens.
Man, this is great. Full kitchen.
Almost.
No fridge.
No stove.
No stove.
But, you know.
It's pretty good.
We've got a lot of great restaurants around here, so we make up for it.
The whole artist lobby, this reminds me of like hotel lobby.
Yeah. Another mural, again, by Tommy Bronx, repping a lot of Atlanta stuff here. I'm big about building a community in Atlanta. That's kind of my main goal of the whole studio. I mean, of course, anybody's welcome to come use it, but really the local scene, local musicians, producers, so we wanted to represent Atlanta. And then more Georgia artists over there, as you can see. It's the nice communal spot where everybody's working in the room separately, and then you never know who you'll run into in here.
I got a little surprise for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this to you, and don't ask any questions.
Yeah. Just want to watch my face reaction when
I'm
I chug it.
I'm gonna chug one with you. This is called Magic Mind. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Just drink it, and then we'll see.
I
We'll see
start
what
seeing
happens.
stuff later.
It's gonna be magical.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
That's good.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
I wish they were bigger. This is so good.
You scared me. So this is sort of the big reveal usually, one of them.
And vibe shift. We go from
And
daylight.
vibe shift, yeah, exactly. This is another Rhodes keyboard from Chuck Leavell, actually.
In the hall?
In the hall, I
Oh
know.
my God. This is our hallway, Rhodes.
We put stuff where we can, man, you know. Run out of space. And then my mom actually took this crazy photo.
No way.
When she was studying abroad in college in Amsterdam. And this kid was just standing there and it said dope above it, smoking a pipe. And she just took that picture and we blew it up. We thought it was a cool picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is Studio C. We got Trey Lander and Childish Major in here working on some stuff. They're always cooking up great things.
Total different vibing.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
So interesting thing about this room, Trey is a newest tenant here and known him for a long time, but this was just kind of a lounge office thing at first. And I built this room out as a studio. And this was a control room that was just kind of a lounge.
Ah.
And then Trey came in here and was like, I mean, this is cool, but I want more space. You know, this is, I'm not gonna be able to fit that many people in here. So he decided to make the control room out here, and then this is another booth, and then he's got another booth over there. I was like, dude, I never even thought about that. It's a way better way to lay it out.
Oh yeah. Some really interesting stuff in here too. Is that at 15?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, it's so cute.
Exactly.
I used to have one. I felt like it was.
It's not as cute as this, though.
Yeah, that you got some cute amps in here.
Trey is a really fantastic musician. He plays everything. Another booth here.
Oh, nice. Luxury chair in the booth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a vibe. I'm gonna sit down for this take.
Obviously, again, great being able to be practically next to the artist. Right. Who doesn't love a little Elvis, you know?
All right, so we got a lot of records here.
We do. This record, Lil Baby and Lil Durk, was mixed here by Jason Joshua. That was a cool one. Some of these were done here, some were, Mac Woodward, this wasn't done here, but he worked on this record. Dean Rowland from Collective Soul, he's a good friend, and I played in his band, his side band. He used to rent one of the rooms here before he moved to San Diego. And then we got some local artists that we've either produced or have been on our label. A girl named Chelsea Shag, a girl named Zale, Fozzy, it's a rock band from here. Chris Jericho, who's a wrestler, is the singer, but they're a great band. So when I got this, it was a really unfinished, actually, and it just had a bunch of junk in it. In hindsight, we probably do need some more storage, but we wanted to make it into a rehearsal space. Yes, a rehearsal space, but also sort of an auxiliary room. You can track in here as well, and also as a lounge. We've done showcases in here, events, little panels and stuff. It's really just sort of an all-purpose room. Pre-production as well. We had a flood in here last year, actually. Prior to that, years ago, before I owned it, there was actually a fire here, and I've heard it was on Christmas. I'm not sure what year, I think like around 2000-ish time frame. I only mention that because last year, or Christmas of 2022, it got really cold here in Atlanta, like single digits for multiple days straight, very irregular, and it was around Christmas. Normally there's somebody here all the time, but everybody was gone, and we had pipes burst up in the lobby. That ceiling fell down, and then the water ran everywhere through the building, and we had to cut walls out. We pulled all of the floors up, all the floating floors, whatever, moved all the gear out into storage for an entire year. It took a whole year to put it back together. But it was sort of a blessing in disguise. I mean, we really got to give the place a refresh. It looks better than it ever has now, and kind of start from scratch, cut out all the things that we were sort of stuck in our ways on, and really think about how we wanted to move forward. The floor plan was is the same as it was before, but the look is definitely updated and turned out great, I think. Fortunately, all the gear was okay, so yeah. And this used to be carpeted, and it obviously made it more dead, but decided to go back with concrete floors. You can obviously track drums in the live room, but if you wanted to track in here, it's going to give you a much more kind of garagey kind of thing. We just wanted to make it as different as possible to give you more options. So we went back with the concrete floors, and they're a little easier to maintain than, people spilling stuff on carpet.
Absolutely. Got a little extra riding rig in here too.
Oh yeah, we got desks in every nook and cranny we can put them. We like to use road cases as
furniture.
Furniture, yeah. So bought an amp from a guy named Peter Stroud, who is the guitar player for Sheryl Crow. So that's where that came from. Bought another amp from him. He also used to play with Don Henley. Just little touches of musical history. A lot of the bands that are rehearsing here are on tour currently, so it's a little cleaner than normal, but I'll take it for a day or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got Studio B back here.
Yes. I love every room has its own vibe.
It does.
This is awesome.
It's semi thought out, but it's also a product of, a different producer being in every room, and they put their own personal touch on it. So this room was here when I got the studio.
It's a great size room too.
Yeah.
Love the size.
It was a mastering suite, actually. We call it the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Too. Jeremy Brown works out of here, and he actually was an intern in the early days, quickly took off. Became Tricky Stewart's engineer and the Dreams engineer, and has got a lot of credits to his name now, and then decided to come back home, if you will, rent this room out. And he is a great producer and songwriter and engineer, but more than anything, he is like a great dot connector. I think he seems to always put the right people in the right room at the right time.
Some sweet gear in here too. I love the Argosy desk, the kind of hybrid nature of it.
He just got this thing. It's pretty cool. We were a little worried it was gonna be too big for in here, but it fits perfectly.
No, it kind of matches the aesthetic.
For sure.
And the shape.
The barefoots are new. We're loving those.
26s, I love these.
I should also mention that this room and Studio C, the room we were just in before the rehearsal room, they both patch into the live room also.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, they have the capability to use that as well. So if they want to track drums or whatever it is where they may need, you know, a little more open sound, they're not just confined to booths.
That's great, and it's nice to be able to still sit in the room you're familiar with.
Right.
When doing that. That's huge.
Sure.
I gotta say, I met Jeremy too. He's insanely nice.
Yo, he's the man. He's the man. He's one of my best friends. Don't tell him I said that, though.
Yeah. Jeremy, where are you? Why aren't you in here, bro?
And this is Studio A, control room. This is Wyatt Oates, who's my, I produce everything with. And Randy Sod, I don't really know why he's here.
Hey, Randy.
No, Randy works with us on the label side of things.
What a sweet, sweet control room. Really well, this is not audio related, but really well lit too. You guys have really tasteful lighting and
thank you.
Everything's seems to be placed. I've never used this room, but seems to be placed in a very thoughtful.
We try to balance it between what our workflow is, and then when someone just comes in, it being enough of a blank slate so that it's, you know, we don't have to change too much stuff around to get their workflow that they need.
What are some of the types of work that you see in here often, or is it just kind of everything?
It's really everything, to be honest with you. I mean, certainly do lots of live band stuff, which is what Wyatt and I's background is from, and we love to do. And we're really one of the few studios in Atlanta that's capable of doing it at this point. But I mean, yeah, we definitely have. Atlanta's the home of hip hop, right?
Yep.
So we have a lot of that, a lot of R&B artists. Like I said, they were someone was in here, spread out on the board, mixing hip hop, actually, like old school Dr. Dre style. So I mean, we really try to just keep it flexible.
Yeah.
Again, we kind of have it set up for Wyatt and I's workflow, but also adaptable. Started looking for an SSL. I'd worked at another studio in the past that had an SSL, so kind of was familiar with that, fell in love with it. We were literally looking for one all over the world. I mean, just from wherever we could find one. There was one in France, one in Japan, of course, LA, Nashville, New York. Ended up finding this one exit down at Southern Tracks Studios here in Atlanta, where in the 90s, early 2000s, a producer named Brendan O'Brien worked out of, and he did Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, Incubus, Pearl Jam, Train, Bruce Springsteen, all these amazing Mastodon, Atlanta band on this console. So we kind of feel like we got to keep it going.
I got to point out the meter bridge shelf.
Yes.
Is so slick.
It's custom.
Yeah, you don't see meter bridge shelves like this.
So we, actually the Little Baby, Little Dirk record, Jason Joshua, who's a fantastic mix engineer, great dude, he came and mixed that record here, and we didn't have that shelf at the time, and he brought his own ATC 45s,
oh yeah,
which is, you know, the big boys of those.
Yeah.
And we had them up on just the skinny rail of the console, and I mean, just the whole time it was like, oh my God, please do not fall, please do not fall. So after that, we were like, all right, we gotta fix this somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we built that.
G plus 4000.
Yep.
72 channels, big old fat patch bay.
It's mostly G, but it's E series in here is the way Brendan ordered it originally. And these down here are stereo.
Oh, killer.
Yeah.
Custom.
Yeah, it's really cool having the E channels in there as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, we kind of prefer them.
All right, can we take a look behind you?
Yeah.
Some of the goodies here.
I wouldn't say anything too out of the ordinary. We have one 1063, the rest are 1073s.
All right, so well, you guys run a Mac. What's the computer interface situation in a room like this?
Mac, latest and greatest. Oh, I guess it's not it's not M1 though. We've got two Apogee Symphony IOs.
It's cool that you could see them.
Yeah.
They're in the other room, but you can
right
still
there,
see
yeah.
them. That's cool. What are the mains in here?
Asperger's. Yeah, Bryson amps. Yeah, 4Bs, yeah. Guitar rack over here. So we used to keep all of our amps out in the live room, which I mean, we still keep some of them, but these are kind of our usual go-tos. And we would bring them in here and have them all sitting here, up here, whatever. And we'd, you know, every time we want to switch amps, we changed the speaker cable and whatever, and got really tiring, honestly. And so
time is money.
Yeah, built this shelf, and then we've got amp switcher and cab switcher as well. So you just plug in, you get a DI out of this guy, and we made a rule to always record DI, just in case, you know.
Yeah.
Hardly ever use it in the end, but there's that one time every now and again where you hate the tone you got when you go to mix or whatever.
But the performance was perfect.
The performance was perfect.
I can't be asked to play it again.
Right, exactly. It's very convenient.
Who's the guitar player? Who picked out the amps and stuff?
I do play guitar, traditionally a drummer, but I have always had a romance with guitars and guitar amps. I worked at a guitar store when I was younger and just kind of fell in love with all the different, you know, sounds of them and honestly looks too.
Yep.
I just love old gear. I used to know a lot more about tubes and, you know, components than I do now.
Well, you guys don't use this stuff, right? You just use neural DSP.
Of course, yeah.
That's right, and you got keyboards over back here too, right?
We got a couple keyboards right here.
Oh, this is great. Was this from the sound design guy in LA? The piece of furniture?
Yes, it was. I'd sent him what we wanted, and he built it. And Juno.
Just grab and go ready.
Another Juno.
2 106s, man, that's a flex.
I think one's Jeremy's.
Oh. Gimbal flipped over. Let's see if we can. All right, hit the like button. For a rookie camera guy. All right, sorry.
Like and subscribe, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So back out through the hallway. This is the live room where all the magic happens.
All right, so 5 studios, a bunch of booths, rehearsal room, and then the A room. Big old live room.
Yep.
Nice high ceilings. You got this sort of like open ceiling illusion here with the trusses.
Exactly.
This is cool.
You know, this room was basically as is when I got it. We have
Really?
We have replaced the floors, but really didn't do a ton to it. All the wiring was ripped out, so we had to rewire everything, but.
And that was from the flood?
No, that was just when I initially bought the building. They had just sold off everything, every last thing they could sell off, unfortunately. So there was no gear, of course, but the build out was here.
Nice big center room, which
Yep.
obviously you could do pretty much anything in.
Yep,
Get a
love
bunch of people in, do nice video shoots.
nice video shoots.
This would be a great spot to do some like live performance stuff.
We've done a lot of that. We did, there's a couple of Atlanta things, beats and ballads. We did a shoot in here a couple weeks ago. I've done a lot of, you know, live stuff in here as well as in the rehearsal space. You know, it's a great big open room, but it's also got a few, like you can see over here, you know, the ceiling's a little shorter. So, you know, you can put drums here and gives you a slightly different sound, a little bit tighter, but then you can still put room mics out here. And then, yeah, guitar amps, bass amps, vocalists in various booths. And
yeah, how many booths are there?
There are 5 booths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And so through here is Studio C, Trey's room. That's his booth, but it kind of doubles as, you know, depending on what we got going on.
So you can use both rooms can use it?
Correct. Yeah.
That's cool. This is my favorite booth.
Me too.
So cool.
Like I said, you know, we'll have writing camps, you know, where we got people in every little nook and cranny with their laptop, so this turns into another little studio quite often as well.
Nice drum set too.
Yeah.
Ludwig, classic maple, what is it?
I believe it's classic maple, yeah. This is actually Trey's drum kit. Like I said, man, it's a family here. Everybody's sharing gear and working together. Gear is cool, people are better. That's what makes the vibe.
You think maybe we could record some drums
I think we
today?
could.
So we can hear what this room sounds like?
You know, we record stuff sometimes here.
Yeah, I mean, I usually just come and look at this stuff, but it'd be cool to actually see it.
Absolutely.
Booth number 3.
Yep, keep our keyboards in here.
Are these from your friend, you said?
They are, a few of them are. This clav is, that organ is. These are cool little sounding keyboards though, for like electric piano stuff. And then that, I don't know if we pointed this out already, but this also came from Chuck Lavelle. A100, sounds amazing. Leslie as well. We've got the Trek system so we can run anything through it, which is amazing.
This is where all the amp heads go to?
Yeah, I mean,
Your switcher?
we sometimes we'll set them out here, but yeah. And then got some more amps and whatever. Run a lot of stuff through the orange, but got this matchless 212 here, a couple of 112 cabs, and there's some others laying around as well.
That's great.
Yeah, this again came from Peter Stroud, Sheryl Crow's guitar player. He's a good buddy. I think every time he wants to get rid of an amp, I think I'm his first call these days. Vocal booth.
Last but not least.
Yep.
Very cozy in here.
Yeah. See into the control room, typical. But we've got a curtain here that you can close if you want to.
Don't look at me, I'm taking my shirt off.
Exactly. Hey, it happens. It happens. Whatever gets the right take, you know?
Yep.
We just recorded some drums. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Thank you for doing that with
Yeah.
me. As an aside, remember when I gave you that drink?
Yeah.
How you feeling right now?
I'm jacked up, baby.
Feeling
Let's
good?
go. I mean, I think there was some mushrooms in it or something.
Dude, there literally is mushrooms in it. Not psychedelic, but
Right.
the good kind.
That's why I was seeing little angels dancing around.
Yeah, man. It's good stuff. I had 2. I can't help myself,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah.
it was really, really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I've been enjoying giving it to the people on the tours and getting their take. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, I loved it, man.
Well, cool. Thank you guys again for doing this with me. This was a ton of fun. Gotcha.